We will now move on to the fourth team for today. This is the team Caribbean Climate Champions, or 3Cs. It's a team of 6 members, all Chevening alumni representing Antigua and Barbuda and also Barbados. So our presenter today will be Carol-Anne Blenman, and answering questions will be Danielle Howell. Over to you.
Greetings. We, the Chevening alumni from Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean, are presenting a proposal in collective support of finance for coastal adaptation within the Caribbean archipelago. This proposal has wide implications for ex-regional SIDS. Next slide, please. Coastal adaptation represents a heightened challenge for SIDS as their adaptive capacity and developmental status are interrelated. Noting the existential threat of climate change, Caribbean SIDS are particularly vulnerable to coastal hazards due to their geographical locations, exposure to hydrometeorological hazards, the existence of fragile ecosystems and environments. As a result, coastal development and infrastructure will face increased impacts. Today, approximately 10% of the world's population live in coastal areas. However, without the implementation of large-scale context-specific adaptation measures, the IPCC predicts that these areas will be rendered unviable by 2021. In its opening remarks at the recently concluded United Nations Conference on Trade and Development in Barbados, the United Nations Secretary General Antonio Guterres noted that SIDS currently receive only 2% of adaptation funding. Next slide. Our solution to support Caribbean SIDS via concessionary financing in the form of grants, which would alleviate existing pressures on the public purse to provide social services, especially healthcare, in the context of the COVID-19 pandemic. In terms of technical assistance, we seek to partner with institutions in the global south, hence promoting greater South-South cooperation, as well as those within the developing world, thereby promoting North-South cooperation. In terms of capacities, we seek to improve capacities in the realms of human, technical, and institutional manpower and know-how at the national and hence regional levels. In terms of knowledge transfer, we would share best practices in coastal adaptation whilst being cognizant of distinct geological features and land formations within a given country context. We seek to establish a regional coastal risk information and planning platform to mitigate impacts and improve coastal resilience, and ultimately to replicate efforts across remaining OASIS member states. Next slide, please. In terms of the impact, we envision that the proposal will elevate political will at the international level to address the needs of vulnerable and disadvantaged groups, strengthen institutions with a mandate of coastal and marine governance, promote the sustainable use of ecosystems by incorporating their tangible and intangible benefits, hence minimizing intolerable losses and damages to the coastal environment. Also, it supports the restoration of coastal habitats affected by climate impacts, provides stable and predictable environments for lives and livelihoods associated with blue economy activities, mitigate shoreline changes and maritime zones under the United Nations Convention on the Law of the Sea, creates a barrier against storm surges and other high-intensity precipitation events via erosion control, and improve public coastal access for all through the fulfillment of Article 9 under the United Nations Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities, which speaks to access, right? It would involve the application of nature-based solutions from hard and soft methodologies, such as dunes, groins, seawalls, and revetments, and lead to the enhancement of the SIDS tourism product. Next slide, please. In terms of implementation, we'll be utilizing the Richard Haynes Boardwalk in Barbados as the pilot study. In terms of its scale, it is regional. We would like to start with Antigua in the first instance, noting that it is the most affected country in terms of its exposure to coastal risks.
1 minute remaining.
And in terms of the affordability, we'll be utilizing a cost and benefit analysis to determine the feasibility, duration, operating and maintenance expenses of the project proposed. The process involves an inclusive and diverse group of stakeholders across donors and regional institutions, as well as academia. And it will require environmental and human rights impact assessments across different communities, particularly the youth. Next slide. I would like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the organizers of the Her Majesty's Government's Climate Change Policy Hackathon and the Chevening alumni from Barbados and the Eastern Caribbean who contributed to the development of the presentation. And to reiterate, the proposal calls for collective support for adaptation at the national, regional, and international levels. And in the context of COVID-19 and other exogenous shocks affecting the region, we have to ask ourselves, if not now, when? Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carol-Anne. Another great example of time efficiency. So thanks very much for that. Judges, is there a question for Carol-Anne and team 3Cs? Oh, there's a hand up. Whose is it?
It's mine.
Oh, go ahead. Please go ahead. Thanks.
Hi, Carol-Anne. Thanks for your presentation.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. My question to you is, what do you see as the single biggest risk to the effective implementation of your policy? So what do you think is the biggest, if it were to be selected, what do you foresee to be the biggest risk? And how would you look to overcome that?
Okay, thank you for your question. I believe that the single biggest risk would be trying to get stakeholder buy-in, especially at the community level, because they might not understand the implications of the proposed measure in terms of its primary, secondary, and cumulative impacts as relates to securing their lives and livelihoods, right? So in order to get them more involved in the initiative, we would try to promote community campaigns, whether through the local government information services, media platforms, or via a UWE research hub, where we would detail the proposal across various social media and also engage various communities in town hall discussions to get their feedback on the initiative.